Alright, it's time to talk about my top 10 most anticipated geek films of 2019. There's not too many movies that qualify as geek films according to us and on our list, but these are basically the 10 geek films coming out and how I'm going to rank them. I am Jacob Bartley and this is Apocalypse Movies. Let's get into my list. Coming in at number 10, and not because I'm not looking forward to it, but just looking forward to these other ones a little bit more, is Sonic the Hedgehog. I played some Sonic the Hedgehog growing up as a kid, and I'm never gonna count any property out. This movie might sound dumb at first, but you gotta remember, they made a Lego movie, and it ended up being great for most people. So they can take any concept and make a great movie out of it. It really just depends how you tell your story, what elements you bring to the table, and you never know. Sonic the Hedgehog could be one of the best movies of the year. There's just no telling at this point. And I just can't wait to see Jim Carrey in this movie. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. Glad to see he's working in something like this. Sonic the Hedgehog, number 10 on my most anticipated geek movies of 2019. Coming in at number 9 is the new incarnation of Hellboy. I am looking forward to this movie. I like the first trailer. Now, I've seen the old Hellboy movies a long time ago, and I don't know anything about the Hellboy mythology other than the stuff that I've seen in those movies, so I can't lie and say that I'm over the moon excited for this movie. But you got David Harbour in there. He's great. He's a great choice to play this. And for me, I love the tone of the trailers. I love the comedic road they're taking with this movie. It looks like something very different than what I would have expected. I was expecting something very dark and very horror, which it can get there, but I love the tone they're going for in this first trailer, so definitely looking forward to Hellboy. My number 8 most anticipated geek film of 2019 is Shazam. This movie could be higher on this list. This 8 to 5 range is very close to each other, but Shazam comes in at number 8. I am so excited for this movie, to be honest. I love this first trailer that they put out. It is a great mixture of like family-friendly fun mixed in with the superhero genre, mixed in with fantasy, mixed in with that Shazam stuff. If you don't know anything about the mythology of Shazam, look it up. It's some really cool stuff, and this lives inside the DCEU. Cannot wait. I loved Aquaman earlier this year, and I can't wait for just the continuation of this universe and this success. They're trying some different things. They're not focusing on their heavy hitters, and it's what's been working. I mean, Wonder Woman is a heavy hitter, and Wonder Woman 1 absolutely worked. We have Wonder Woman 2 coming out next year, but I'm just excited for the continuation of this shared cinematic universe, and I love this trailer. Cannot wait for Shazam. Coming in at number 7 on my most anticipated geek films is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Never thought I would ever say that sentence in my life. Don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon. Just like most kids my age, I grew up collecting Pokemon cards, playing the Pokemon Game Boy games, just loving Pokemon, watching the show. I love Pokemon as a kid, and it's very nostalgic to see these characters in this trailer. But on top of that, that trailer was amazing. I love the look of the trailer and the look of the Pokemon and the style that they're going for visually with this movie. I also love the Ryan Reynolds voicing the character, and also I thought the Detective Pikachu element was going to be stupid. I thought they should have done a straight Pokemon movie. Instead, they show me the concept in this trailer. You have this young boy, his father goes missing, Pikachu's gonna help him look for him, bringing in that detective element. On top of that, you get all the Easter eggs and all the enjoyment of all these other Pokemon being in this movie in a world where Pokemon have lived in it for a while. I am so excited for Detective Pikachu. I cannot wait for this movie. Coming in at number 6 on my most anticipated geek movies of 2019 is X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, this movie might not be high on a lot of other people's lists, maybe not even the guys on Apocalypse team, but I am excited for this movie. And just because X-Men Apocalypse wasn't great, shouldn't mean that suddenly we're not excited for an X-Men movie. Come on now, X-Men First Class was amazing. X-Men Days of Future Past is absolutely incredible, one of the best comic book movies ever made. Deadpool's amazing. Logan's amazing. Deadpool 2 is really good. And we have that one recent movie that, yes, this is a direct sequel to it in X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Dark Phoenix. I am so excited for this movie. I love this young cast of the X-Men, and I love James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender as Professor X and Magneto. I can't believe people aren't excited about this movie as I am. Bring it on, I cannot wait. And my number 5 most anticipated geek movie of 2019, man, there's so much to enjoy, is Joker. The Warner Bros. Movie. Joker, cannot freaking wait. DC had a good year this year, obviously, with Aquaman this past year. Now, they look to continue this thread with Shazam and Joker. Even though Joker is not in the DCEU, that's irrelevant. Just seeing a DC comic book property from Warner Bros. Potentially succeed is going to be a win for us fans, for the studio, for DC. I cannot wait for this movie, just like I cannot wait for all these movies. I know I've said that a million times on this list, but cannot wait for Joker with starring Joaquin Phoenix. It's gonna be something very unique and something very special, hopefully. And my number 4 most anticipated geek movie of 2019 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Who would have thought that a Spider-Man movie coming out is as low as number 4 on a list like this? But when you hear the next 3, you're not gonna be too surprised. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. I know we've only seen him in technically 3 movies with Civil War, Homecoming, and Infinity War, but that's enough for me to say he is a true representation of what Peter Parker should be. He actually looks like a kid, and that's what I want from my Spider-Man. On top of that, you have Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio. Come on, how cooler can you get than that? Spider-Man Far From Home, very much looking forward to this movie. And my number 3 most anticipated geek movie of 2019. Now, when we're getting into these top 3, either one of these could have been number 1. These could flop around 1 through 3 in my opinion. This movie should be number 1, but the other 2 are just incredible. This is Captain Marvel. Now, look, about 2 years ago, I started reading the Captain Marvel comics, started reading the Civil War II storyline, and I still read her single comic run to this day. I love this character so much, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've been a fan of her my whole life. Just in the last couple years, I became a fan of her, but that's enough for me to love this character dearly, and I cannot freaking wait for her appearance on screen in live action in this movie and then in Avengers Endgame. It's gonna be incredible. And Brie Larson, Academy Award winner, playing the lead role, which I actually called. We have it on tape. I called Brie Larson playing Captain Marvel before she was announced. I am going to love this movie so much, hopefully, but I'm definitely looking forward to it very much so. And my number 2 most anticipated geek film of 2019 is Avengers Endgame. This is gonna be a lot and most people's number 1, and I cannot blame you. After Infinity War, which was a monster feat of its own, they have to end it successfully with Avengers Endgame. And how could you not want to see this movie after watching the end of Infinity War? It's going to be something very, very special. This is probably the most, crazy, where the whole globe is looking forward to this movie. It's probably the most anticipated worldwide. And I cannot blame people. Avengers Endgame, number 2 on my list. And if you knew me, this would not be a huge surprise. My number 1 most anticipated geek film of 2019 is Star Wars Episode 9. We don't have a title yet, but Star Wars Episode 9, the continuation of this trilogy. First one directed by J.J. Abrams, second one by Rian Johnson, and now J.J. Abrams comes back to hopefully tie a nice bow on this and have a great conclusion to this trilogy. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping this is the movie that unites Star Wars fans and brings us all together and has us all just saying, yes, this is the movie we wanted. And I'm super excited for this movie. You can't put it into words how excited I am for this movie. See, I'm stumbling with my words right there, just talking about how excited I am. Star Wars Episode 9, nothing even comes close, honestly. I know I said the last 2 movies were teetering 1 through 3, but like when I really sat down and thought about it and went movie by movie, it was no question that Star Wars Episode 9 is my number 1 most anticipated movie and geek film of 2019. All right, there are my top 10 most anticipated geek movies of 2019. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my list? Again, I am Jacob Bartley. This is Apocalypse Movies. Check out all of the stuff we got going on. Thanks for listening.